the smell of burnt gunpowder, and the sound of steel ringing on the flat range. There is absolutely nothing like it. But right now, the only thing louder than a short-barreled rifle inside a concrete shoothouse is the industry chatter leading up to SHOT Show 2026. Every major manufacturer is playing their cards close to the vest. But the leaks are already flooding the wire. And from what my contacts are telling me, the handgun market is about to get completely turned upside down before the convention center doors even open. If you carry daily, if you run tactical carbine classes, or if you just want to know what is actually worth your hard-earned money this year, you need to pay attention. We are going deep into the most anticipated firearms dropping at SHOT Show 2026. We are breaking down the specs, the real-world applications, and exactly why these specific systems have the firearms community buzzing. Grab your eye pro, grab your ear pro, and let us get down to business. The Caracal CMP9 and CMP9K. First up on the firing line, we have the Caracal CMP9 and the CMP9K. These have been sitting at the absolute top of my radar, and for very good reason. If you are the kind of shooter who has spent thousands of hours running an AR platform, your hands already know the manual of arms. Now, imagine taking those exact ergonomics, shrinking the package down, and feeding it from legendary MP5 pattern magazines. That is exactly what Caracal is bringing to the table. The standard CMP9 features a cold hammer-forged 9-inch barrel. You are looking at an overall footprint of roughly 17 inches, weighing in at just under 5 pounds. If you need something dedicated to tight vehicle work or home defense, the CMP9K slices that down to a 6-inch barrel and a highly maneuverable 14-inch overall length. Both of these weapon systems are chambered in 9mm NATO. They operate on a highly refined, advanced blowback system. The manufacturer is claiming an effective range of 300 meters on area targets, which is incredibly impressive for a pistol-caliber platform. When you get your hands on one, you will immediately notice the upper and lower receivers are meticulously milled from billet 7075 T6 aluminum. You get fully ambidextrous rear charging handles, AR-style fire control groups, and compatibility with standard AR pistol grips. Most of these units are going to ship straight from the factory with 30-round curved magazines. And yes, the barrels are threaded 1/2 by 28, capped with an A2-style flash hider. So if you have a 9mm suppressor sitting in NFA jail, or you want to swap muzzle devices, you are good to go on day one. From my perspective as an instructor, these are not just range toys to waste brass with. The advanced blowback action dramatically softens the recoil impulse. When you are running fast transition drills between multiple targets, the dot simply does not leave the window. Caracal USA is already listing these in their inventory, which means they are going to have a massive presence on the demo line in Vegas. The Steyr ATC and ATD series. Now, let us cross the pond over to Austria. If you are suffering from polymer frame striker-fired fatigue, Steyr is about to be your best friend. With their new ATC and ATD series, they completely ignored the current industry trends. They are bringing back heavy metal frames, legitimate hammer-fired systems, and modularity that actually lets you tune the gun without paying a gunsmith $1,000. Let us break down the ATC line first. This is their dedicated competition thoroughbred. They built this around a rigid stainless steel frame with a single action-only trigger that breaks like glass right at the 3-pound mark. You have barrel length options sitting in that 5 to 6-inch sweet spot. When you combine a heavy steel frame with a crisp single-action trigger, you get a gun that shoots incredibly flat. The kinetic energy of the round is absorbed by the mass of the firearm, allowing your follow-up shots to be blisteringly fast. They also have rock variants that add extra mass to the slide for even better balance. Every single ATC model comes optics ready right out of the box, with slide mass calculated to handle aggressive compensators and high-pressure match ammunition. Steyr is stepping directly into the ring with the heavyweight match guns from CZ, Beretta, and Tanfoglio. Then you have the ATD series. This is their dedicated duty and defensive weapon system. They swapped the heavy stainless steel for an aluminum frame to save weight on your duty belt or inside your waistband. It utilizes a traditional double-action, single-action trigger mechanism with a smooth first pull hovering right around 6 pounds. They are offering everything from compact concealed carry models to full-size duty slides, including an internally compensated compact model that fits perfectly into the modern concealed carry philosophy. What I really love here is that ST Wire allows the end user to swap out the hammer springs and recoil springs easily. You can truly customize the recoil impulse to your specific defensive ammunition. Smith & Wesson Shield X Carry Comp. Moving on to the micro-compact arena, the Smith & Wesson Shield X Carry Comp is dominating the conversation. The entire industry has been trying to figure out how to put compensators on Micro 9s without ruining the ability to carry the gun comfortably. Smith & Wesson absolutely nailed it. The genius of this design is that they kept the exact same dimensional footprint as the standard Shield X, but managed to integrate their PowerPort system into a 3.6-inch barrel. You do not have to buy a completely different holster, and you do not have a massive piece of metal digging into your appendix when you sit down in your truck. It is a polymer-framed, striker-fired micro-compact chambered in 9mm. It feeds from flush-fit 13-round magazines or extended 15-rounders, with 10-round compliant versions available for restricted states. Let us talk numbers for a second. You are looking at an overall length of 6.87 inches. The height is roughly 4.9 inches, and the unloaded weight sits just north of 20 ounces. It absolutely disappears under a standard t-shirt. The Performance Center PowerPort system features a single expansion chamber precisely at the 12 o'clock position, venting gases straight upward through a corresponding cut in the slide. When you press the trigger, those gases force the muzzle down, fighting the natural mechanical rise of the pistol. Smith & Wesson did not cut any corners on the feature set either. The slide is milled for the popular RMSC and HoloSun K Series footprints. They include an Ameriglow Lumi-Green tritium front sight paired with a serrated blacked-out rear sight, which is the exact sight picture I recommend for defensive use. The grip texture gives you plenty of traction, even if your hands are slick with sweat or rain. Taurus GX4 Strike Bravo. Next up, we have something completely out of left field. The Taurus GX4 Strike Bravo. This is not just another concealed carry gun. This is a true leap into the personal defense weapon category. Taurus took the proven fire control group, slide, and 3.7-inch barrel from their GX4 carry. But instead of dropping it into a standard polymer grip module, they partnered with Strike Industries. They integrated the firearm directly into a dedicated chassis system built specifically around the Strike Industries FSA single stabilizer brace. Because it uses the GX4 architecture, you retain all of your 15-round magazine compatibility, your Toro optics-ready slide cuts, and your aftermarket support. But the chassis completely changes the capability of the weapon. You have a generous section of Picatinny rail on the dust cover for a weapon light, and a rear rail interface where the brace securely locks into place. That FSA brace folds cleanly to the side so you can pack it into a discreet messenger bag. When you deploy it, it swings open and locks out, giving you multiple points of contact. Anybody who has taken a tactical shooting class knows that 3 points of contact will exponentially increase your hit probability at distance. Extended, you are looking at an overall length of 18.4 inches, weighing around 35 ounces unloaded. Folded down, it collapses to a highly portable 9.66 inches, weighing just 24 ounces. The barrel is threaded 1/2 by 28, and they even engineered a reversible rear charging handle so you can easily manipulate the slide around a red dot optic. This is the ultimate truck gun configuration for 2026. Springfield Armory Hellcat 380 ACP Micro Compact. Let us talk about a caliber that gets a lot of unfair criticism. Springfield Armory is dropping a 380 ACP version of the legendary Hellcat. And before the caliber snobs roll their eyes, you need to understand the mechanics of self-defense. Springfield did not just take a 9mm and lazily sleeve the barrel. They engineered a purpose-built micro-compact that maintains the exact same dimensions shooters already trust, but drastically reduces the felt recoil. For shooters with compromised grip strength or folks who have developed a heavy flinch from shooting snappy micro-9s, this is a game changer. The specifications are going to sound very familiar. It features a 3-inch hammer-forged barrel. It is about 6 inches overall, a hair over an inch wide, and weighs practically nothing at 16 ounces unloaded. But the engineering marvel here is the magazine capacity. Springfield utilized their patented high-stack magazine geometry. You get an incredible 11+1 rounds in the flush-fit magazine and 13+1 in the extended baseplate. That is massive firepower for a .380, all packed into a footprint that directly competes with the P365. The slide comes OSP ready for your RMSC pattern micro red dots. It features the excellent U-dot sight system with a high-visibility tritium front sight. When you pair the softer recoiling 380 ACP cartridge with their dual captive recoil spring system, the gun barely moves under recoil. Modern defensive .380 ammunition consistently delivers between 190 and 220 foot-pounds of energy out of short barrels. That is absolutely capable of stopping a lethal threat at standard civilian engagement distances. The Glock V Series. All right, it is time to address the absolute juggernaut of the industry. Glock is preparing to execute a massive overhaul of their lineup heading into SHOT Show 2026. I am talking about the highly anticipated V Series. Glock has confirmed they are phasing out over 30 existing Gen 5 models by late 2025. The legendary G17, the G19, the crossover G19X and G45, and the subcompact G26 are all getting replaced. We are going to see the G17V, the G19V, and large frame variants in 10mm and 45 ACP. For a company known for moving at a glacial pace, this is a monumental shift. At first glance, it just looks like another generation, but as an instructor, the details are what matter. We are seeing reports of re-engineered frame geometry specifically designed to lower the bore axis and mitigate muzzle flip. The trigger mechanism has been totally refined to offer a cleaner break and a more tactile reset. But the biggest story here is mechanical compliance. If you watch the news, you know that illegal, fully automatic conversion devices, commonly called switches, have become a massive problem for law enforcement. Industry insiders are confirming that the V Series features completely redesigned sear geometry, modified trigger bars, and altered rear slide plates. These engineering changes physically prevent those illegal aftermarket conversion devices from dropping into the gun. This directly addresses the massive legislative pressure coming from states like California. I am extremely eager to get my hands on these at SHOT Show to see how the new universal optics-ready mounting system functions, and to run them side by side against my daily carry Gen 5 pistols on the timer. Staccato Compact HD C36. Finally, we are ending on a piece of absolute premium hardware. The Staccato Compact HD C36. If you appreciate the fine craftsmanship of a high-end 2011, but demand the rugged reliability of a modern duty weapon, this is your holy grail. Staccato took their incredibly successful full-size HD duty platform and meticulously scaled it down for concealed carry. They did not compromise on the internals. This is a true duty-rated system in a compact footprint. It is chambered in 9mm, featuring a heavy 3.6-inch bull barrel that absorbs heat and controls muzzle rise beautifully. The frame is machined from a lightweight aluminum alloy, keeping the unloaded weight to a very manageable 24 ounces. Overall length is 7.1 inches, and the grip width is a slim 1.2 inches. It occupies the exact same real estate as a Glock 19, but here is the absolute genius of this platform. The HD C36 ships from the factory with two 15-round Metgar magazines that are completely compatible with the Glock 19 pattern. Let that sink in. You are getting a premium 2011 that feeds reliably from the mountain of Glock magazines you already have sitting in your gun safe. That is an unprecedented level of logistical support. The feature set is pure staccato. You get a hand-fitted, single-action-only trigger that breaks cleanly between 4 and 4.5 pounds. It features an external extractor, an active firing pin block for safe daily carry, and fully ambidextrous safety levers. Their proprietary host optic mounting system allows the rear iron sight to sit fully forward of the red dot, giving you a clean, uncluttered lower third co-witness. They utilized a flat-wire captive recoil spring assembly, specifically tuned for defensive pressure hollow points. If there is one gun I am sprinting to on industry range day, it is this one. All right, that is the sit rep on the 2026 hardware drops. Now, I want to hear from you. Head down into the comments section and let me know, which of these weapon systems would you actually trust your life to on the street? And which ones do you think are just expensive industry hype? If you got some value out of this breakdown, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you are serious about your Second Amendment rights and protecting your family, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you never miss a briefing. Keep your head on a swivel, train hard, shoot straight, and I will see you on the next one.